I'm continuing to work on my Ferris wheel down in my workshop. I took it apart. It's all now in pieces, and I started by painting everything. I painted all the silver parts, all the struts, and everything on the wheel itself. And I also painted the blue styrene pieces for the sides. They were silver, and I decided to make them a little more colorful, so I painted them blue. Now, what I also want to do is I want to light the inside of the wheel itself at nighttime. So I had built these small LED boards. There are LEDs that are actually glued onto this piece of styrene, and then they are wired together in series. And normally one LED would need a 510 ohm resistor to work at 12 volts. Well, with all the LEDs that I have here, it's only going to need a 51 ohm resistor. So each one of these boards will get wired back down along the strut, and then the black wire is the common wire. It will get soldered to one of these copper rings, and then the other yellow wire is the actual plus wire. Since there are 12 segments, I have actually 3 of the copper rings. So I will have 4 sets of those LED boards for each one of the rings, and they'll be spaced out. Then I'm going to hook those up to a chaser so that as this is turning at nighttime, they will chase. Now, I had to build the ring units, and I actually used copper-clad circuit board, cut it out. I drew a circle on it with a compass, of course, and then cut it out roughly on my bandsaw, chucked it into my my mini lathe, my model lathe, and actually turned it down perfect circle, and then I cut out the copper here and the copper right here, so that it allowed me to have these rings. And then I also built little sliders. The sliders actually will go on the top of those blue styrene pieces. When this wheel sits in here, the slider will actually, little sliders will actually ride on the copper. And that's what will give the electricity to those LED boards. Now, I built an LED sequencer from a Velleman kit, but unfortunately, it's a 6 LED sequencer. I'm only going to be using 3 of them. So now I'm going to have to go back to my drawing board. I'm going to have to try and figure out how I can turn a 6 sequencer into a 3 sequencer. And I have an idea on how to do it, but now I'm going to use these small reed relays, but I have to put transistors in between them. Now, one thing you got to remember is I am not an electronics technician. I'm not an electronics engineer. I am a tinkerer. And I know too much sometimes and not enough most of the time. And I know I get into trouble too many times. So hopefully my ideas, from what I have read and from what I kind of know, will work so that I can sequence the LEDs to chase at nighttime. But we'll see.